Welcome back. All right, I want to talk about Zach Benson today, and I'm wearing San Jose because I think he goes at 4, and I say that because I think Michkov's going to drop. So on most lists, Michkov is high up there, right? Now on Elite Prospects, Zach Benson's listed as 5th. Same with Bob McKenzie. Same with HockeyProspect.com. Craig Button has him at 14th. Button is not sold on Benson. Probably his skating, and I'm going to say his size as well, would be the reason Button would have him lower. So he's 5'10" or 5'9", depending on what you see as his weight and his height. The weight is listed as 159 pounds. I've seen 150, so he's going to have to add a little bit of weight to play in the National Hockey League. But how many times have we talked about guys who slip in the draft and we look back and say, how did that happen? That's how it happens. People look at the height and the weight and they go, I don't know. I don't think he should go that high. And I expect that with Benson as well. Now, he's listed as a left winger. Elite Prospects just shows him as a forward rather than specifically just left wing, but Hockey Prospect shows him as left wing. Either way, he is projected to be a very strong forward in the NHL when he hits his prime, right? So he plays for the Winnipeg Ice, at least he has over the last couple of years. 2021, 2022, and 58 games with the Ice. 25 goals, 38 assists, 63 points. In the playoffs, he adds 9 goals, 14 assists, 23 points in 15 games. This year, in 60 games, again with the Ice, 36 goals, 62 assists, 98 points, and he added 7 goals, 10 assists, 17 points in 15 games in the playoffs as they got all the way to the final before the Seattle Thunderbirds knocked them out. At the Holinka Cup this year as well, he played 5 games, had 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. It's an under-18 tournament, and he did pretty well. And overall, there is almost universal acclaim for his play. He's a good puck handler. He's seen as having very quick hands, so good, solid offensive instincts, and his work ethic. Everything I read was about his work ethic and how strong he is along the boards and his skill. He's got the skill and he's got the work to go with it. He wins puck battles despite his small stature, which reminds me of high school when I used to play. I'm smaller in stature as well. People pick up on that. And being smaller in stature, it does surprise people when you go into the corner. It doesn't matter what kind of hockey you're playing, ice, floor hockey, street hockey, and you come away, from a battle with somebody who's 6 feet tall, and you steal it from them. People notice. It can be done. This is why when I see people saying, well, a smaller guy can't, I'm thinking, yeah, they can. It requires more work. It requires more effort if you're smaller than it does for the taller guy, but Zach Benson clearly is willing to put in that amount of effort. And so he's seen as a good skater, but his speed is not seen as being elite. So this is where that divide comes in, right? You may very well have a GM that looks at Zach Benson and says, I love that skill set, but I'm not in love with the fact that his skating isn't at that elite level. But again, this is how guys slip in the draft that later on teams look back and go, yeah, we really messed up there, didn't we? The skating, when it's good, not great, that can be fixed. And even if it's not fixed, as long as it's a smart player and he's seen as having a very good hockey IQ, he sees the ice very well, both with and without the puck. And that's the thing, being able to read the play well when you don't have the puck. This is how you end up with a player that when they reach the NHL level, it doesn't matter what line they're on. So with Benson, he may be a player that ends up coming into the NHL as a bottom 6 forward because he plays very well defensively, because he's very smart away from the puck. So he shouldn't hurt a team defensively as long as his size doesn't get in the way, and it shouldn't. Now he's seen as a high-end playmaker, one of the better passers in this draft, and he also kills penalties for Winnipeg. So he's done a little bit of everything that you would want from a prospect for the Winnipeg Ice. He's also strong on the forecheck. And his compete level is fantastic. So he works really hard. He's got a really solid hockey IQ. He's a skilled player. He does project as a playmaker at the NHL level. But it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. So again, for me, I've got him at 4 going to San Jose. Just based on the fact that Michkov probably drops. The interesting thing is on the Michkov video, there are people saying, well, no, he should go higher because, and then there's the caveat of, they will also mention in those comments about how, yeah, well, there are some uncertainties because, and it's the uncertainties that I think are going to drop Michkov down. Otherwise, Benson would probably go 5th, maybe 6th. But yeah, He's being looked at as a guy who I've seen people who cover Detroit saying he may end up in Detroit, people who cover Philadelphia saying he might be a Philadelphia pick. I think whoever gets Benson's going to get a pretty good player here. And if his size ends up causing him to drop, that would tell me that GMs may not be learning their lesson on not picking smaller players and letting them drop, like Caulfield, like DeBrincat. It happens all the time. You would think they would stop worrying so much about the projectable NHL size and go with that skilled player. Skill is really, really important in today's NHL. I know not all fans are overly happy about the way the game has changed. I am. I think the skilled players should be the guys who are in the National Hockey League. The more skill, the more goal scoring you have, the better. And I think he could fill a lot of needs for the San Jose Sharks if they did draft him fourth overall. But we'll see. Where do you think Benson ends up going in this draft? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. I could have chickened out and just wore my Winnipeg Ice jersey, but I didn't. I wore San Jose for this. So let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.